We'll turn our attention to boxing again, and a big fight coming up this month. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. Massive fight at welterweight. Keith Thurman, big puncher. A lot of impressive names on his record. Luis Collazo, Robert Guerrero, and most recently Sean Porter, where he was very impressive. Very explosive fighter, very powerful, and he's going to give Garcia problems. On the other side, we've got Danny Garcia, unbeaten. Again, Robert Guerrero on his record. Dealt with Lamont Peterson, Amir Khan, Lucas Matisse, Zab Judah, twice over Eric Morales. I mean, this is two very impressive records. Obviously, Danny Garcia has put in the odd funny one in there. Rod Salka, I seem to remember. He did put in the odd funny one to stay busy, I would have thought. But overall, very good record. He's been in with an impressive company. His style, he sometimes looks a bit basic. His style is not very flashy. But he's obviously found a way to get the job done. He's unbeaten, and these names he's got on his resume, very impressive. Not as explosive as Thurman, but he's solid. He's defensively sound, reasonably heavy-handed, and he's a man to be feared. I think he's underrated. He seems to be quite an introverted character. He's quite a cerebral character. But he finds a way to get things done. He's obviously got a very good technique. He's got a very good boxing IQ. And looking at the odds, I mean, you can get 2-1 on Garcia. I think that is big. Thurman is the favourite for the fight, around 1-2. But certainly on the prices, you have to look at Danny Garcia. His father's always got something to say at the press conferences. He has had a few things to say to Thurman already. I think some racial slurs were involved and things like that. I mean, I don't take his father too seriously. He says a lot of funny things. He tries to get rise out of Danny Garcia's opponents. It takes the pressure off Garcia because he doesn't have to do much at the presses. He knows his father's going to do much of the talking. He knows his father's going to steal the headlines. And Thurman is a man who likes to have his say. He's quite outspoken himself. So he would like to hold his own in press conferences. But from what I saw, it appeared to me that Danny Garcia's father was getting to him a little bit. And so maybe a slight emotional edge for Garcia. I do see him as someone who stays within himself mentally. He's very thoughtful. He's obviously clearly intelligent boxing-wise. So I think that's an advantage for Garcia. I think everyone's looking to Thurman to go on here. This is his time to really seize an opportunity, take the title, and make a big name for himself. He did so against Sean Porter. He was very impressive in that fight. He landed a lot of clean shots. He was very heavy-handed in that fight. But I think this is a marquee fight. I think Danny Garcia's pretty much proved himself with the names he's got on his record. Slightly better record overall, I would say. Slightly more impressive names. And over a longer period, Danny Garcia's been at the top of this division. And, he's unbeaten. So I'm going to give the edge to Garcia on this one. That's my fancy at the moment. It isn't a strong fancy. It's one of those fights where you could go either way, pick'em territory. But in pick'em territory, it's sometimes wise to go for the bigger price. So for the time being, I'm going to look towards Danny Garcia, 7-4, 2-1, in that range. If you can get that sort of price, definitely worth a shout for a couple of units. And we'll see how things transpire. There's still a little time to go before the fight. Maybe press conferences subsequent and news stories we hear closer to the fight may change that. But for the time being, my call is for Danny Garcia.